Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When the knowledge is complete from all standpoints, then only there is a peaceful, doubt-free experience. Let us understand this statement. In a school, the teacher used to teach art, how to draw the pictures. So after one term was over, he decided to give examination to the students. So he kept in the center things like this: a flower pot, a teapot, 2 cups, 1 or 2 fruits, a knife, a fork in the center. And he made the students sit in 12 places, 12 students, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, like that. 12 students were asked to sit. And the teacher is sitting separately. And he said, yes, students, now your examination starts. Please draw the picture. You have 20 minutes. So the children started looking at it. After they have finished, he said, now let us evaluate whether you pass or you fail, whether it is right or wrong. So the teacher was lazy like me. He said, why don't you yourself evaluate? So the children were very happy. Good, I will give myself best. But the teacher said, give the paper from student at 12 o'clock to the student at 3 o'clock. The paper from the 3 o'clock to the 6 o'clock. 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 1, then 2 to 5. In this manner, the papers were shifted. He said, now you evaluate. I will not come in your way. And the children started evaluating. Wrong totally, it's not like this. And then, yes, give me the papers. So he corrected. He started reading. 12 o'clock student, wrong. 1 o'clock student, wrong. And he said, everybody is wrong. Oh, sir, how it can be? He said, I didn't do it. You only did it, is it not? So don't blame me. Now it cannot be like that. He said, okay, now let me try. And then he started seeing each picture, drawing, and he gave his comment. Everybody is right and nobody is wrong. Now what is the difference? The difference is, the students who were sitting in different positions, they were obsessed with their angle and their standpoint only. And the teacher was above all. He had a complete perception. And therefore, from the teacher's point of view, everybody was right. And from the other student's point of view, other than me, everybody is wrong. See the difference? If this is understood, then this world and the Lord, some of us are obsessed that the Lord is with the name and with the form. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Some of us say, no, this is useless. Therefore, break all the temples because this is wrong. Then the second type of people, they say, no, God is all inner controller, antaryami. But he doesn't have a form. If he has a form, how can he go and control the cow from inside, the tiger from inside, the mosquito from inside? He is the inner controller. So he has the qualities, but he is formless. The first group said, the Lord is with form, with attributes. The second one says, with attributes but no form. And the third group, everything is wrong. The Lord is without form and without attributes. So these are the three standpoints on which the world is divided into so many religions. Some of them insist the Lord with the name and the form, with the attributes, compassionate, loving, appearing in front of you, helping you. Some of them say, no, he is always helping us from within. He doesn't have a form. And the third group, no, both of them wrong. No form, no color, no shape, no attribute. And if anybody says the God has got color and form and name and attribute, we'll kill them. See. Now this topic is taken by Ashtavakra Ji in the 18th mantra. Sakaram andrutam viddhi nirakaram tu nishchalam etat tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. We have to go through stages in life, and we cannot afford to remain in the first KG standard throughout life. I got 4 sons. Eldest one is studying for his doctorate. Second one is in his graduation. Third one is in class 10. And fourth one is in class 1. So when I mentioned to you these are the 4 children, does it mean that I am telling that somebody is better and somebody is bad? They are the stages through which they are going. But if there is some student whom I met 30 years before, that time he was in KG1. So after 30 years when I met, I asked him, hey, what are you doing? I am in KG1. Now also? Yes. Why? I like that very much. How ridiculous it is. In the same manner, we all have to go through the different stages. The first stage is, we have to break the inertia and laziness of life. See, somebody told me in our UK, there are many people who have never worked in their life and they are living only on the government dole money. They never work. When the government is paying free, why should I work? So the welfare state is giving the farewell to their abilities. See, they don't work. To such people, something has to be done. So they are showed, see, if you do this thing, you will get that thing. If you do this thing, you will get that thing. So some temptations are given. Like the children, who likes to learn going to the school A, B, C, D and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2? Nobody likes. But then we are told, if you go to school, you will get chocolate, you will get a car, you will get a watch. So somehow or the other, to break the inertia, temptations are given. And thus a person is introduced into activity. And when his desires are fulfilled slowly, comforts are appreciated, then he gets addicted to those comforts and desire fulfillment, and then he is working day and night. I want this, I want that. Keep active. After he gets into activity, then that activity has to be controlled. If the activity is not controlled, then he can do any harm. So he is told, look here, you have freedom to earn the money, but you have to pay the tax. You have to freedom to indulge, but under certain decorum of the society. You cannot live like an animal. And thus, that individuality is well defined. And when the individuality is well defined, it is given additional responsibility. That you have to take care of your children, you have to take care of your parents, you have to take care of your society, you have to take care of yourself. So when a person is given responsibilities to be followed in life, he cannot go the way he wants. Now he has to lead a responsible life. Here the law of karma comes. And we are told, if you do not do this thing, in the next life, before you are born, you will go to hell. And in this life, whatever problems you have, because of your karma from the last life. So man enters the area of religion, dharma, adharma, sin, merit, last life, this life, next life, hell and heaven. And after he comes over here, he keeps on living a very methodical, systematic, responsible life. And as a result, he is not allowed to go the way he wants. Because he has to lead a responsible life. And thus when he is going through the responsibilities, one day by the God's grace it clicks. How long I am going to do this? Is this all my whole life or what? Then he starts looking here and there. And then he is brought in the kingdom of yoga. So we start doing something. Yoga for health, yoga for getting married, yoga for getting divorced, yoga for pregnancy, yoga for divorce. I am not joking. I came across in UK only, many years before when I came, I was staying with somebody who was from South Africa, migrated to UK. And when I went to their house, hello, everything, and then afterwards when I was going, they had given me some pamphlets. Swamiji, I am teaching yoga here. So, what is that? The first pamphlet, yoga for early pregnancy. Patanjali must be turning in his grave. Yoga for early pregnancy. See? Then yoga for reducing the weight. Then yoga for removing the tensions. It is something like somebody gave me an elephant as a gift. Then I thought what to do with this elephant. So I decided to use the elephant for plowing my kitchen garden. Yoga is meant for something higher. But instead of that, we get lost in this nonsense. And then I become a yogi. And when you become yogi, all the abnormalities start coming out. There also we become frustrated. And then we start searching for the third option in life. Oh God, why this is happening? Enter the path of devotion. Then we see the devotees, they are living very comfortable life. They don't do pranayam, they don't do yoga, and they are so cheerful and happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. then we go into the path of devotion. When we enter the path of devotion, there I, responsible person, I, the one who is doing yoga for self-discipline, this I is surrendered at the feet of the Lord. And when this I starts becoming weaker and weaker, then the mind starts becoming purer and purer. And when the mind becomes pure, what is the sign of a pure mind? Pure mind is that mind where inquiry into the truth is kindled. Who am I? What is this world? Who is this God? What do we mean by spiritual practice? So all earlier things, responsibilities, dharma, religion gone. Yoga, pranayam gone. Ringing the bell and showing the light to the Lord gone. Now a person becomes extremely self-oriented. Earlier he was self-centered. And now the inquiry kindles. And when the inquiry kindles, we get interested in studying the scriptures. See, in Avadhuta Gita, the first verse, Ishvaranugrahateva pumsam advaita vasana mahat bhaya bharitra paritranat vipranam upajayate. What is the meaning of God's grace? God's grace is defined differently according to the different people. A person who is unable to get a job, for him God's grace is, oh God, I should get some job, and I get a job. By God's grace, I got the job. God's grace, getting the job. Second person is not able to get married, and he prays to the Lord, oh Lord, send some fool. Then he gets married, and then God's grace, by God's grace, I got married. Then he realizes it is a terrible mistake I have done. Again, oh God, please take her away. And then by God's grace, I could get divorced. God's grace. See, if somebody is having some health problem, oh Lord, kindly get me the right type of medicine, I should be cured. God's grace. But the real God's grace is Advaita Vasana. What we have seen earlier, that Chinmatra Vasana. Now nothing in this world is able to attract us. We want to know the truth that we are. Who am I? I was in US maybe 30 years before 9/11 happened. That time US was different. Now it is terrible. So I was staying, first time I visited US, and I didn't know the cultural etiquettes of the various societies. So near the place where I was staying, there was one family, old family. And they had a son about 35 years. So I went to meet them, to that lady. To every lady I call Mama, ya mother, like that. So I said, Mama, how are you? I am your new neighbor. Don't call me Mama, I am not your mother. I said, excuse me. Sorry. Call me Maggie. So when she told me call me Maggie, I remembered India. In India, the Maggie noodles, big advertisement, Maggie 2 minutes. So I thought I should put her in a boiling water. Then, our Indian style, we go into somebody else's life whether they want or they don't want. So I started asking, Indian style, how many children you have got? Why should I worry? But I ask. He said, there is one boy. What is he doing? He said, it's not your business. Because in India we ask any question to anybody. And then that boy was engaged only in one thing. He was searching for his parents. Because he was adopted by this old couple. And when he grew, he came to know they are not my real parents. So he started searching the papers here and there. And after a long search, he could pinpoint his mother is in Calgary, in Canada. And he flew all the way from Chicago to Calgary and went to that place. And there he saw his mother, who was a prostitute, whose one leg was uprooted because it was gangrene. And when he saw her, she said, yes, with this paper, you should be my son. But I have nothing to do with you. Go back wherever you have come from. I have no problem with you. Okay? Bye. So his only search was, who are my parents? Who am I? Where from I have come? Because of this search, he was not interested in anything. Friends, when this search becomes deep in us as to who am I? If I am other than the body, then who am I? Is it that we are born because of the passions of the parents? We grow because the earth is moving around the sun? And one day we die because it is a formality to be completed? What we are? When this inquiry becomes extremely intense, then understand God's grace is full now. Ishvara anugrahat eva pumsam advaita vasana. So these are the stages through which a seeker starts from getting out of the laziness to the point of inquiry, who am I? What is this world? Who is this God sitting above the clouds, packing the small packets of miseries and delivering perfectly? Who is this God? And what do we mean by spiritual practice? Is it going to the Ganges and taking bath? Is it going and giving something in charity? Is it sitting in meditation and suffering silently? What exactly spiritual practice means? All these questions, they take possession of a seeker. To such a student, Ashtavakra Ji is addressing. Therefore, in this topic, any Tom, Dick and Harry can never get interest. They get tired. For them it is good. Let us go to the, poor people feeding and give them, some bread or something like that. And yes, I have done a great job and service to the society. Very good. Feel very good. I am not like you people going for the movies. I go for the social service. That is the main problem. See, therefore, here, Sakaram Anrutam Vidhi, Nirakaram tu Nishchalam. Now the teacher says, you have lived in this world, now you want to know the truth, I give you a thumb rule. Forms are not real. Formlessness is real. Take an ornament or anything for that purpose. Everything has got these three aspects. For example, a wedding ring, one of your ornaments. Wedding ring is a name. It has got a particular form and it is made out of gold. So three things: name, form and the material, the essence out of which the ring is made. Now out of these three, what is the reality? The reality is neither the name nor the form. The reality is the gold, and the gold has neither the name nor the form. We call sometimes it as a wedding ring. Sometimes we call the same thing as suffering. See? Wedding ring or suffering. Some kind of ring it is. But the gold remains the same. And gold has no form and no name. Therefore, here the teacher says, Sakaram Andhrutam Vidhi. I'll tell you something very, very deep and secret. Every element has its own essential quality. Like the earth has smell, water has taste, the fire has form, the air has touch, and space has sound. The space is called as Akash. Now, Akash is formed from a root called as Kash. Kash Diptau. Kash plus, rather, when you prefix A to the Kash, it becomes Akash. Akash means that which is formless and gives support to all the forms. Akash. Now the same Kash, if you prefix Pra, it becomes Prakash, light. So if we can imagine space which is self-illumined, self-illumined space is Chidakasha, the conscious space. And this conscious space is a solid space. Because in this conscious space, other than conscious, there is nothing. So it is solid. And it is space because it contains everything. This Akasha, formless, is the reality, and all the forms merely appear in this formless space. In the 9th chapter of Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadav vyaktamurtina masthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nachmasthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta bhrunnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. He says, I, the formless, permeates and pervade all the forms. Therefore, all forms are in me, but I am not in the forms. See the contradiction. And to be very frank with you, neither they are in me nor I am in them. These are the three standpoints. So when these three standpoints are understood, then our knowledge is complete, like the drawing teacher who was sitting apart, and from there he is able to recognize at what angle what will be the perception. He is not confused. He is not obsessed by any particular path. Karma is rest better, yoga is better, devotion is better, or knowledge is better. No. He has graduated through and through. Therefore, from his point of view, there is nothing wrong. Everything is right. So, when we are sitting for meditation, therefore I was giving you this instruction again and again, don't struggle with your body or prana. Start playing. Play first of all, Nirakara. You are the space which has no form. But don't play that I am space, I will be born. play, what it is like being space, what must be the experience of the space. See, like the children, they play. See, daddy goes to work in these big shoes, how he must be feeling. So their small little tiny feet, they put into daddy's shoes and he wants to experience how one feels, with these shoes. In the same manner, meditation is play. Play what it is like being space, nirakaram, no form. And when we work on it, then we come to know really how many forms I have changed as a body. As a child body, I was so sweet, chubby. Everybody will come, lift me, kiss me, hug me, talk to me. I am the same, but now nobody looks at me. And when I go near to somebody, they take the old newspaper upside down and start reading. Why this is happening? I am the same. See, friends, this reality which is supporting all the forms of the body is formless. See, what are the consequences of this understanding? Forms are many. Because of the many forms alone, differences are spoken of. The formless is one. Forms are created, forms modify. The formless is not created, it is not modified. All the forms are created in the formless space, but because of the creation of the forms in the formless space, the space does not gather any form. Now apply this principle in our life. None of the worldly objects will ever disturb us on any account. Because now our attention is not on these colors and forms. Our attention is on the formless reality. See, friends. And when we come to the experience of formlessness, as in deep sleep, what is our form? Zero, no form. And therefore, we are one. We are not many. We are one. This formless reality supporting all the forms is the truth. See. So if we are told that all the ornaments are supported by the gold is formless. Now to understand that the ornament is formless, gold, is it necessary that we have to melt the ornament? It is not necessary. We can look at the ornament but see the gold like a jeweler does. In the same manner, we look at the forms and see the divine. We are deceived by the forms. Therefore, when we go to the jeweler and give our wedding ring for getting some money, so he takes it and starts rubbing on the philosopher's stone. So when he starts rubbing, you say, don't do that. It is my wedding memory. Don't do that. Look here, I am not touching your wedding part. I am seeing whether it's gold or not gold. See, friends. Therefore, this formless is the reality, and formless alone is supporting all the forms. Therefore, Nirgun Nirakara, formless, attributeless, itself has become the attributeless with form, And the same thing has become with form and with attributes. Three things. See. So those who are unable to be contemplative, those who are unable to focus, and in those we all come, then we are given some support. Like concepts, how the concepts are taught to the children. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. How to understand it? So the teacher becomes very smart and she goes to this class to teach mathematics with a ball of chocolates. And when the chocolates are seen, children are inspired. Today we are going to get chocolate now. Who cares what is it? And the teacher takes one chocolate in her hand and say, children, now repeat after me, okay? I am going to teach you mathematics. Do you think the children's attention is on mathematics? So she says, this is one chocolate. Repeat. So the children say, this is one chocolate. The emphasis has changed. Teacher is talking about one chocolate. The children talk about one chocolate. After having taught, the teacher thought, I am very intelligent and smart. How nicely I have given the concept of mathematics to the children. So she asked one child, now you tell, I have given you, suppose, 2 chocolates and your friend has given you 2 chocolates. So how many chocolates you have? So she has already shown the answer by the fingers. So the child says, 5. So wrong. How it is 5? Again I will ask you. Be attentive. Tell me correctly. I have given you 2 chocolates. Your friend gave you 2 chocolates. So how many are they? 5. How come 5? Madam, there is one in my pocket. So his attention is not on your mathematics. His attention is on the chocolate. Exactly the same way. Our attention is not on the Lord, the absolute reality. And therefore, with all the forms we start fighting. The correct understanding is, the Lord is formless, yet He supports all the forms. And therefore, through every form, He alone is expressing. This is the complete understanding. And when this understanding takes place, such a person alone can love everyone without any ifs and buts. So, sakaram anratam vidhi. Don't get obsessed by any particular form. See? The other day I went to some place in India and there were small students who were studying, the Vedas and all that, putting the yellow clothes, maybe about 8 or 9 years, with a nice kind of clothes and vibhuti and a dish antenna and everything, So when I went there to do namaskar to the Lord, they saw, oh, this Swami, we see him on the TV and all that. So they came running, did namaskar and all that. Then they asked me, which sampradaya you belong? That means, which God you follow? So that was, the Krishna temple. I said, I follow Vaishnava. Oh, you are Vaishnava? So happy. If you tell you are Shaiva, okay. Because the names and the forms are different, the fighting begins. See, friends. Therefore, we live in the world with forms, but we never forget we are the formless reality. Reality doesn't have either form or obsession not to have a form. See, one of my experience I must have told here, so many years I am coming. There was one girl, a Catholic girl, and this happened in a hill station in India. Her husband and she were very close to me. I used to go to their place We used to have a lot of fun. And she used to like some of my cooked dishes. So I used to cook and she used to enjoy. So one day he told me, he was a taxi driver, her husband. So he told me, Swamiji, your Kathy has delivered a baby. I said, hey, good, congratulations. I'll come after my all things are over, okay? I may come after a week or two. I'm very busy these days. He said, okay. He has never come for my satsang even once. And only somewhere on the road we became friends, that was all. Evening, when my satsang was over, he was there. I said, hey Enoch, how come you are here? He was, in tears. He said, she is bleeding profusely. We don't know what to do. I said, call her parents, uncle, auntie, somebody's blood will match. Give the blood, she'll be all right. We need it, but they say, according to our religion, we cannot give blood to anybody. I said, hey, what is this? What can I do? They say like that. I said, you pray to Lord Jesus. My blood should match with her. And I went straight away to the hospital. And they took the blood sample and it would match. I said, now take the blood, whatever is required, save that girl. And everything was done and she was saved. After about 10-15 days, again I went to see her. I said, hey Kathy, bottle is Catholic, the liquor is Hindu. Who are you now? Friends, life does not have religion. Differences are only because we are obsessed. So abide in the formless, attribute-less reality and adopt all the forms, all the names, and be at home with everything and every being. That is the complete knowledge. To tell this, the teacher is telling here, Sakaram Andratam Vidhi. Don't give undue importance to the forms to such an extent. Because of the forms, we are destroying the other people's faith. No. And if you see, there is no religion in the world which does not accept the form. Every religion accepts the form. See, when we are offering prayer on a particular day, particular time, it is the limitation of time parameter. When we offer our prayers in a particular direction, it is a space. It is a parameter of form. Because what is the form? Form is nothing but a matrix of time and space. Therefore, friends, everyone in this world accepts the world with form, and to remove all the differences, come to the substratum, which is formless. This formless substratum is the reality. Therefore, Sakaram Anrutam Vidhi Nirakaram tu Nishchalam. And once you are abiding in this non-dual, one without a second, absolute, formless, attribute-less, beginningless, endless, modification-less reality, Nishchalam, then alone you can be at home in every place, in every moment, in every situation, with everyone. That is the fulfillment in life. Therefore, all the stages we all have to go. We have to finish our responsibilities sincerely. We have to self-discipline, practice yoga. Thereafter, we have to focus our mind single-pointedly, practice upasana, anushtan, chanting the japa, etc. Vedanta says, karmani chitta shuddhyartham, aikagrayartham upasanam, mokshartham brahma vijnanam iti Vedanta dindima. Karma is done not for doing good to the world. Karma is done for purification of your mind. Upasana is not done with a big list. Oh God, do the following things for you. I am very busy. You be my servant. It is not for that, but the mind becomes single pointed. So when the mind is pure and single pointed, then in that pure single pointed mind, the capacity to inquire into the truth. Who am I? What is the world? Who is God? And what is the spiritual practice? These four queries are conducted by such a mind. Therefore, if we are walking the spiritual path, don't get stuck up to any point. Do all that. Grow. See. And when we really grow, you will see that, like when a fruit grows and becomes ripe, it detaches from the main tree effortlessly. In the same manner, earlier you were taking the mala in the hand and doing the japa. Om Jambakam Yayame Sugandhim Pushtivadhanam Urvarukam Yovandanan Mrutyur Mokshiyam Om Bhurva Sada Sahasravarinyam Bhargo Devasavimai. It's okay, do it. But whole life only looking at how many more are remaining. It automatically drops. See, friends. And everything is dropped to such an extent that we are alone in the crowd. But if nothing is dropped, we are lonely when we are alone. To remain alone in the crowd is the spiritual growth. To remain lonely in the crowd is a mental abnormality. Such people become depressed, dejected. Everybody is happily living in this world and this fellow depressed, dejected. What happened? What has not happened? Did anybody say anything to you? Who has not said what thing to me? Is there something wrong with you? What is right with me? Understand, a height of frustration is reached. Because never there was a real spiritual practice. On the spiritual path, frustration, depression, dejection never comes. Because what is spiritual path? You start from the earth and you are migrating to the space, from the space to the mind to the intellect, from the intellect to the consciousness. Where is a place for frustration? There is no station of frustration. See, friends, and therefore study of scriptures, proper understanding. Study of scripture is like a GPS. Punch, destination, where you are. It will calculate the time. It may take 10 million years. But anyway, you have to drive. Now you are on the opposite. See? So when we go through these stages properly, then alone we are growing spiritually. So sakaram anratam viddhi nirakaram tu nishchalam etat tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. This is tattva upadesha. See, tattva means what? These are all, when you study Sanskrit, this adds to your depth of understanding. Tattva means what? Tat. It is both of pronoun and a root. Tat means that. Pronoun is associated with everything and everybody. See, that is my friend, a human being. That is a chakra, a structure. That is a camera, a machine. So that can be associated with everything. So it is a common thing, pronoun. So tattva, that which is common in and through everything and being, is tattva. Tva means ness, good and goodness. Tat, the supreme reality. Tva, supreme reality-ness, means our attention is on that reality which is supporting every name and form. Tattva Upadesh. See? The second meaning of the tat is it's a dhatu. Dhatu means a root. So, tanoti iti tat. That which expands is called as tat. So, like in Ishavasya Upanishad, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atma eva abhut vijanataha tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. The same reality has expanded in the form of knower, known and knowledge. Therefore, Tattva Upadesha, come to know what is seen, the process of seeing and the seer, all of them are superimposed on the same reality. See, Bhagavad Mahapuran tells, the other day I told you, the Lord desired to see the colors and forms. So colors and forms are formed and the eyes are opened in the Virat Purusha. Then the Lord desired to hear the sounds, then sounds were formed and the ears were opened. So the same reality with the conditioning of objectivity is called as the world. With the conditioning of subjectivity is called as the experiencer, and the process of contact between the two is also possible in him. In this manner, everything is the same reality. Etat tattvopadeshena. And therefore you will see that those who are following Vedanta, they alone have very clearly accepted all religions are basically same. Therefore, when you study Vedanta, you don't have to change your faith. Whatever you are continuing, it makes no difference. See, friends, there is no difference at all. Like, to study mathematics, we don't have to become a particular faith. To study physics, you have to be a British, then only you can study, because Newton was British. No. Anybody. In science, these differences are not valid. See, friends. Therefore, etat tattvopadeshena. Thus, when we come to recognize this, as regard I is concerned, formless, ever the same. As regard world is concerned, with forms constantly changing. So, I, who is the reality, alone is supporting all the changes. And in this manner, when we work on our own experiences, the teacher says, na punarbhava sambhava. For such a person, there is no place for again being born and the karma ashaya and the last life and this life and next life and then you will be going to the hell and heaven. These are all baby talks. These have no meaning. Come out of this notion that we are the body and we are the soul. This is taught for us to learn in a particular manner. Like, yesterday before closing the topic, I said to you, when some unknown is to be established in mathematics, how it is done? Suppose we have got some data. There are 4 containers and they contain milk. First container has got 5 liters of milk, second has got 3 liters, fourth has got